This is Voice of the Cape Drive Time. Going places, getting there.
Welcome back to Voice of the Cape Drive Time FM. There have been interesting photography projects around the world over the years. We've had 24 hours same-day projects, and now you get Minute 22, which is an idea of the Arab photography magazine Sowar. Sowar, in fact, is the Arabic word for a photograph. Online is Mr. Hassan Osman, editorial director at the Arab photography and documentary magazine Sowar. Mr. Hassan Osman, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Voice of the Cape.
Well, assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Pleasure is ours. Now, tell us first of all about your photography magazine Sowar. How long has it been around?
Well, Sowar Magazine is a journalistic and documentary photography magazine based in Beirut, Lebanon. And it's been around for around a year now. We launched in June, July 2007. And the focus of the magazine is about photojournalism and documentary photography, which is slightly different than pure photography that covers art. Our magazine is, in simple terms, presents pictures with stories.
Which is probably more interesting.
Yeah, we think so. Thank you.
Now, your magazine, based in Beirut, Lebanon, it's been described as an Arab photography magazine. Does it mean to say that your images are, well, photographic image is an image, are the accompanying stories and captions in Arabic, English, or whatever language?
In fact, our captions are based mainly in English. A lot of the readers in the Arab world, surprisingly, are bilingual. And a lot of them prefer to read in English, especially about documentary topics in the Arab world. And that's a good question because our audience is not just the Arab world. It's an international audience that likes to understand more about the culture, the scenes, the individuals that live in the Arab countries. And so we decided when we launched the magazine that to appeal to a larger audience, we should publish it in English. But there are plans, hopefully, to move to a bilingual model sometime soon.
Now, what I find very interesting, it's an Arab photographic magazine. I don't have to tell you that if you go to certain parts of the Arab world, people are quite antagonistic towards photographs and the image. What's your feeling about that? I mean, are you making inroads?
Good question. You'd be surprised at how people are actually okay with it. I mean, I think maybe 15 years ago that was the case. But today, a lot more people in the Arab world are much more open to that, especially when you're documenting issues which a lot of people are interested in.
Now, as a matter of interest, what sort of issues has Sowar? You've only been going for about a year or so, but what are the kind of issues that you've been able to document?
We've ranged from everywhere from celebration of weddings, for example. In Lebanon, you have a lot of religions, Muslims, Christians, Jews, and a lot of different sects within those religions. So one photo essay we actually came up with is a documentary about the way they celebrate weddings in those different religions, the commonalities and differences between them. Another was Faces of Poverty. We talked about how, people who are poor in the Arab world and Lebanon specifically, just showing scenes of that. In our last edition, we actually published a special edition about the Lebanese Civil War between 1975 and 1990 as a special tribute or part of a Let Us Not Forget campaign. So our topics are very, very varied. They could range from anywhere from fun projects, just like Minute 22, and to talk about very, very serious topics such as poverty and other issues such as, scenes and all that.
Now, when you look at images in the magazine, unfortunately I haven't seen an actual copy of the magazine. Are you happy printing black and white images as opposed to color? I know I'm a photographer myself, and a lot of photographers prefer black and white images because they have a certain timelessness to them.
Right. We actually publish both. We publish black and white and color. Our last edition was a combination of both. From images of the Civil War, we had black and white, obviously, because that was the main dominant type of photography at that time. But the 80% to 90% of our issues are in color.
And looking at the whole scenario, I know a lot of Arab photographers have been doing some really good work for the wire services, particularly in places like Lebanon, in Palestine, in Syria, in Iran and Iraq. and not really getting much recognition, mainstream recognition for their work. Could you say that one of the aims of your magazine is to give these photographers a platform to showcase their work?
Absolutely. This is, in fact, our main objective of the magazine. The whole idea started from that need specifically, that there are a lot of photographers, highly talented photographers in the Arab world that don't have a venue to publish their work in. I mean, obviously you've got the international magazines like National Geographic, Life, and Time magazine, but given the high caliber of those and the international coverage of it, it's quite tough to get exposure through that. And the nice thing about Sowar Magazine is that it flips the traditional model of a regular magazine, where we focus specifically on the photos with minimal commentary versus a lot of commentary and minimal photos. So they also get a great 10 to 12 pages that showcase their work, and we always include a bio, and a website address or email address for prospective clients to get in touch with them.
So it's a win-win situation for everybody all around.
Exactly. And we've had great feedback from the photographers themselves about, having the work published in print and getting a lot of people get in touch with them after seeing their photos in Sowar Magazine.
Now, your magazine was given some coverage here in South Africa in the Times newspaper. The online edition featured a project by your magazine. And this project we're talking about is Minute 22. It sounds fascinating. Tell us about it.
Well, Minute 22 is a fun project which the Sowar Magazine team came up with around a month ago. And the whole purpose of Minute 22 is to have people capture a single photo at the exact same time in the Arab world. We chose the 22nd of August 2008 at 2:22 p.m. Lebanese local time to be that time for the photo. The number 22 was actually chosen because it represents the number of Arab countries in the League of Arab States. And we had all those 22 countries be involved in this project. And of course, to adjust for the difference in time zone, we gave them the specific times that they should take it. Some countries it was 1:22 p.m., others like the UAE was at 3:22 p.m. And it was like you said, a fascinating project. It was a great social experiment, and we had a lot of people pitch into it. The whole objective was, again, just for fun. We've always thought about, what's everyone doing at this instant in time in another part of the world. And given this day and age with, the ubiquitous digital cameras in everyone's hands, and the social networking sites like Facebook, we managed to get everyone together and join in on this project.
It must have been a nightmare editing it, though. You must have had so many pictures.
Oh, absolutely. We received hundreds and hundreds. In fact, as we speak, we are still getting photos from that day. We had a 1-week deadline, but people were like, we actually took those photos using regular cameras versus digital ones, and we need time to reproduce them. So we gave them an extension on that. But absolutely, it is an editing nightmare, but a great, exciting one nonetheless.
And I'm sure in these kind of projects, due to the spontaneity of it, I'm sure some really astounding images come out of it.
Absolutely. Well, the interesting thing about this project is not in the content per se. It's the fact that the entire set of photos happened at the exact same time. So you'd find a very wide range of the quality of photos. Some people took them with their cell phones, and obviously that's a low-resolution photo. And others who are highly professional photographers that took them with their digital SLRs, and obviously in a much better angle and all that. The special edition, which is upcoming for Sowar Magazine, is going to be entirely dedicated just for this Minute 22 project. And we're going to include that entire spectrum of images. So, yes, some of them were very, very interesting as standalone pictures. Others maybe were a bit, okay or boring from a standalone perspective, but when you put it into the entire set of photos, it has a different meaning to it, which is much, much powerful.
Sounds absolutely fascinating. And those are the words of Mr. Hassan Osman, editorial director at the Arab Photography and Documentary magazine, Sowar. Look out for it. I'm sure it's online. And Times newspaper South Africa has got a feature by Sowar Magazine on their website as well. Mr. Hassan Osman, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you, and may the magazine go from strength to strength.
Thank you so much.
This is Voice of the Cape Drive Time. Going places. Getting there.